And we're good.
Okay.
Hey, welcome back to Powers and Pals?
Panels and powers.
Panels and Power.
We've changed the name already
Yeah.
multiple times.
It doesn't help that I went onto iTunes, looked it up, and like a way more popular podcast called Panel to Panel came up. I was like, shit.
Oh, really? That? Yeah. No, I was wondering because even in in the podcast we introduced it as panel by panel.
Yeah.
And then on the actual title of the video, it's panels and powers.
No, my favorite thing is if you can check your messenger thing. I sent you a picture of what our thumbnail was going to be, and it was panels to panels. And then 5 minutes later, you can tell, or I was like, oh fuck. I rewrote it. I'm like, panels to powers, or whatever the shit, and sent it back to you. But yeah, welcome back to another episode of Panels to Powers. Powers to Panels, whichever.
Powers and panels and powers.
Is it Powers and Panels?
Panels and powers.
I came up with this. I should know it. Anyway, we are back for another episode somehow. We've changed the name. That's good enough. And today, I tried to establish a format with this where I'd get a guest. They come in, they pick a comic, and we talk about it for half an hour, 45 minutes. Great, we go home. But the comic you picked for this one is a one-shot.
It's a one-shot, yeah.
So I thought, just in case we're starved for content, plus there's a book I really want to talk about, we'd hit two at once.
Yeah, and it's relevant because this book came out like 2 days ago.
Yep, it came out Wednesday and it's already sold out.
Yeah.
Like they're going into reprint, which is almost never happens.
Where'd you pick up your copy actually?
I bought it at a new place downtown.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the place. Actually, little side note, the best comic store in Cork is stuck between two sex shops.
Yeah.
So you look like the biggest pervert ever when you come out with like a brown paper bag.
Yeah, they don't have any like distinct bags. They just give you a brown paper bag in both shops.
Wait, in both shops?
Well, no, like in the sex shop they give you a brown paper bag, and in the comic shop they give you a brown paper bag.
Okay, and moving on.
Yeah.
Well, you do in your own time. As you can hear, I am back once again with one and the only Dan Seymour.
They planned on getting a new guest, but then they realized there was probably no one you could rely on to actually read a comic.
Yeah, no.
By the end of the week.
There was one other person. I'm like, hey, would you read this? And you're like, yeah, I'll skim it. I'm like, no, you won't. Like, I don't like the term skim it. I do it a lot, but yeah.
To be fair, this guy's the master skimmer.
Oh yeah.
He really speed reads things, but.
There was one day when we were like, editing an episode of our other show, and he read a whole graphic novel in like 4
Yeah, he
minutes.
read Paper Girls.
Yeah,
while we were editing it, or while we were just playing it back.
Like that is an insane speed for like anyone.
Yeah.
Like how long does it normally take you to read a comic?
A single issue comic?
Yeah, like say a one shot, 22 pages.
I kind of go through like really leisurely. It'd probably take me 10 minutes.
I'd go even slower. I'd say I'm 15 to 17 minutes. Like.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I'll get my time out of it.
The thing is, like, with Metal, it probably took me 15 to 17 minutes on Metal, because Metal is an oddly long one. It's like 34 pages.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just 22.
I was a good 25 minutes on Metal, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Especially because it was one of those moments where I was at home alone, so I'm like, oh, I could make a whole thing out of this. So I chuck on some, like, instrumental music when I'm reading it.
Of course you did.
I did. And I, like, sit back in the best chair I had. I'm like, alright, now let's read some Metal. And every now and again, if I got caught up in it, I'd start doing the voices out loud.
You should have threw on some heavy metal, Jack.
I did when I was walking down to collect it. Because DC have a playlist on Spotify for Dark Knight Metal.
What?
And it's just Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder's favorite metal songs. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's what I thought it was, because like the promotional art for Metal was Batman with the two battle axes, or the two war axes, and with like blood coming out of his mouth, and I was like, oh, they're doing like this weird heavy metal vision of the DC universe, but I guess not.
It's finally where Batman embraces the idea of being in a rock band. Yeah. And just gets the Justice League. And you know Superman's going to be on bass, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Flash is the fastest drummer alive.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it would have been great.
Cyborg is on like a synth.
Oh,
he's plugged in.
One hand has turned into a keyboard.
Yeah.
And he's playing it with his other hand. Okay, so DC Metal, for those of you who don't know, they've been building up to this event for, I want to say, 6-7 months?
The big quote on the back of the book is that Scott Snyder was, in the blurb anyway, Scott Snyder is like, I've been thinking about this story since I started writing Batman.
Which is what? 7 years ago soon?
Yeah, because Court of Owls was like 2011, 2010.
Yeah, 2011 was New 52, so that's when he started doing this run of Batman. Yeah. He started Batman before that in, I want to say 2007, 2008, when he did Black Mirror, which is the one with Robin.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Dick Grayson Robin as Batman. And he's like doing a detective story. That was his first run. It's good enough, but he didn't have Greg Capullo.
Yeah.
And I think the minute you put him with Greg Capullo, his stuff is insanely good.
Yeah.
Have you read the New 52 Batman?
I've read most of it.
Fuck, it's good. It might be my favorite run on Batman. It's like 9 volumes long or 10 volumes long, and I have every volume. I don't have every volume of most series I read. Like I'll get 1 or 2 volumes here or there, but I have every volume of that because they are just a powerful combo together.
Yeah, no, like definitely, 'cause they do create a very consistent vision for Batman, and I think seeing them back here again is really, really fucking great.
And the best thing is, this jumps off the back of everything they've done before.
Yeah.
So like even throughout Endgame, where Batman dies, spoilers for Endgame, Batman dies and comes back because of something getting into his system, the dilithium or something like that, I believe it's called. And it turns out in this, it was nth metal.
Oh, okay.
The big reveal is that's also what Batman came back from life. What makes Wonder Woman's gauntlets? What makes the Helmet of Faith?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Should we get into the story?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Okay, so we open 50,000 years ago with a lizard trotting along a desert, and with 3 tribes: the wolf, the bear, and the bird,
So,
and apparently Batman.
the wolf, the bird, the bear, and Batman.
Yeah, he's his own.
See, I was trying to figure out what these tribes are, and I get that the bird is obviously the Blackhawks.
Yeah, and they do reference that.
Yeah, and the Hawks. What were the wolves and the bears again, or did we get that reveal yet?
Well, okay, let's theorize. Who could they be? I mean,
does Batman have any wolf-based enemies?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. I feel like there's a distinct lack of wolf-based enemies in the DCU.
Oh no.
I don't know. Maybe no, she's Marvel.
What about Ra's al Ghul? Because of that one time Liam Neeson fought a wolf in that one movie.
Oh, but we didn't even see it though.
Oh, you're right.
We didn't even see him fight the wolf.
Maybe he didn't fight that wolf. Maybe
okay, let's just say it's House Mormont and House Stark.
Yes, that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
Hey, the North always remembers when Batman took over.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get narration by Carter Hall, who we all know as Hawkman. Guy with a big hawk suit, which we don't see in this issue.
Yeah, we see the statue of Hawkman, but we don't actually. Yeah.
So we were told there's 3 tribes, and then there's a 4th one being the Bat.
Yeah.
And then we cut to War World, or War Moon in this scenario.
And we got all the Justice League covered in thick purple blood. And you gotta wonder how Batman's no-kill rule is doing in this situation. Because he is caked. And I mean caked in alien goo.
See, I want your opinion on that. Batman's no-kill rule, I'm guessing it just applies to humans.
Yeah, I guess it must be flexible, because I mean, he wouldn't kill like Superman or a Kryptonian because they look like humans, right?
Yeah, but
then you gotta think, okay, well, is Batman just kind of racist then? Is he shadow thing and say, okay, well, if they look like a human, then
I mean, he'd blow up a parademon, no problem.
Yeah,
or like a robot, even if it's sentient, he'll blow that shit right up.
Yeah, so like I mean, what's his weapon here? His weapon here is a big axe. Not a lot of non-lethal options with a big axe.
I like the idea he's just hitting them with the other end of the axe every time. Just like back of the axe in the face every time. So we get Mongol, and he's just like, oh yeah, who shall the Justice League fight next?
I'm really enjoying Mongol's design in this because it's like halfway between like a Dragon Ball Z character and like Hobgoblin. And look at his face in this here, band. He's so happy. He's like a child.
When you read his dialogue, you can tell just how energetic he is.
Yeah.
Like, who shall the Justice League face next?
You don't see Darkseid doing this. I'll tell you that much.
Darkseid's always like dark and brooding, like, oh, I'm a cool Superman.
You don't get these joyous outbursts.
I love the way he's got the Toy Master just like building him weapons and shit.
Yeah.
Even you see the way he's taking them down, and this is a thing with Scott Snyder. He'll always think of something smart yet kind of comic book bullshit.
Yeah.
So the S on Superman's armor is red sun dust.
Yeah.
The snake thing is magic on Wonder Woman. The boots are just vibrational, so the Flash can't run.
Yeah.
He neutralizes all of them basically. So the Justice League are in an arena, Planet Hulk style.
Yep.
Call back to our last episode.
And so the Toyman, his creations, because he creates contraptions for the Justice League to fight, I guess, when they can't find aliens to butcher.
Yeah. Batman has murdered all the aliens.
Yeah, so they got to make new ones. So they make what I can only describe as the Zords from Power Rangers.
They are, like, straight up.
And there's one that corresponds to each Justice League member. And it took me a second, because I saw, you see the 2 of them in that panel, and then you see the big wide, and you're like, oh, okay, I see what they're going for here.
You see, I love the designs on them, though, because that one's like the creature from Attack of the Clones, like that like weird spindly
Yeah,
arm
yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
Yet that one looks more like just a tank with wheels.
Yeah,
They really kind of mix it up a bit.
they do.
So the Justice League try and fight these, but they've got no powers. So
They've got no powers, and most of them, save maybe Batman, are just. And Aquaman just has a big branch instead of a trident. It's pretty funny.
I like the idea he still got a three pronged one just to be safe. Though.
Yeah, and they were nice enough to give him a 3-pronged branch.
Yeah. Wait, do you think they let him pick that? They're like, of all the weapons, Batman's going for it. He's like, no, Aquaman, you can have this. I'll take the axe.
Yeah, you can all have like proper steel metal weapons. I will take the big branch.
Yeah, but fucking these things are fighting it out. One of them just shoots Superman in the shoulder. Turns out these won't go for the armor, which is probably a smart idea.
Yeah, so because the armor is the thing it's not actually protecting them, it's doing the opposite. It's suppressing the powers. So the robots are trained not to shoot for the armor, but to shoot for the exposed parts.
Which, once again, they're built by Toy Master, so we get a reveal later on that Toy Master is helping the Justice League in this scenario.
Because of a phrase that he said, before
the name of the robots, it's weird. So Batman just jumps inside one's mouth and just...
Because he's a mad cunt.
He's just a mad fucker.
Yeah.
He's like, well... It's not human. Something more for me to kill.
There's a great panel here. You just see like the outline of Batman just smiling like a crazy person as he jumps in.
He does what I can only call like the King Kong moment, where he rips the jaw apart.
Yeah,
and he just gets lucky.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so let's talk about the solution to this problem. So Toymaker, he says something in Latin before the robots are released, because Mongo's like, oh, what's this latest creation you have for us, Toymaker? And Toymaker is also a human and probably doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's this something Latin. And then Mongo's like, oh, there's something Latin.
Isn't it great?
Isn't it great?
Because happy about
Mongo doesn't get Latin. He never took Latin.
No, obviously.
But Batman clearly did.
Yes.
Because Batman understands immediately.
Batman took every language.
Yes. And he realizes that Toyman is like, I don't know, he's like giving them some code word that means that you got to jump inside the mouths of the robots and press a button.
No, you see, the reveal is that it's the root words for both of these in Latin or some shit like that means come together. But what does he get from come together that says jump in the mouth and push the big button? Like, what's the leap in logic there?
Like, I thought because it was the bat signal on the button that, oh, maybe Wayne Tech had something to do with it, and he knows how to offer Wayne Tech. But they all have different symbols on the buttons in each of the creatures' mouths, and I was like, geez, Batman, that's a fucking risky move.
Yeah. It would have been great had it just ripped Batman in half.
Yeah, that's to close the jaw button.
Yeah.
And it just cuts his legs off.
Oh, that would be so funny. But yeah, everyone else is like, Batman, what are you fucking doing?
And the guys are like, oh, does Batman like hentai? Because all these tentacles come out of the robot's mouth and just wrap around Batman. And they're like, quick, save him. And Batman's like, no, I like it. Drag me in.
You guys should all try this. It's great.
It's wonderful.
Oh, God. So they all give it a bash. Why not?
They're all wrapped up.
Yeah.
And hopping in the mouths of the creatures, which, again, like, I mean,
I love
1 in a million, this like this solution.
I feel like that's 90% of the things Batman does, though.
Yeah.
But again, everybody's dragged in, and as they're being wrapped up and like torn in, Batman's just trying to explain. He's like, "Guys, it's cool. I've taken Latin. I've got this. It all means come together. Let's do this. Let's form up Ultron." See,
they do.
The new season of Ultron came out like last week, so I've been catching up on it. So when I saw that, I laughed an awful lot. The worst thing is we don't actually see that thing just bash Mongo's face in.
We don't. They just say, we're going to kick his ass. Or it's like Flash there's a nice little guy, Flash is like, why am I the foot? And Batman's like, so you can kick his ass.
I mean, that's fine, but why is Green Lantern the crotch?
Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't catch that. That is really weird.
I love Green Lantern doesn't complain about it either.
Yeah, and like, the way that Superman's one is clearly like a lot bigger than like Flash's or Wonder Woman's.
Yeah.
He's got to be the full torso.
Well, of course, Batman's the head.
Yeah.
Also, is Green Lantern the penis?
He's got a little
like a lantern dick,
like a little lantern ball thing. And I love Mongo's reaction because he's like, no, not now. As in, this was always a possibility.
I knew this day would come.
As in, there's like a 1 in 100 chance that they could Voltron these robots together, and he was aware of that.
We warned Mongol there was a 25% chance they'd Voltron.
Yeah, because it's like he's not surprised; he's just disappointed.
Yeah. He's just disappointed.
Like, and also if that happened, I would just punch the Toy Man in the head, because the Toy Man is sitting next to Mongol.
You just crush his head, don't you?
Yeah, you just cave his head and get one more good licking.
Or take him by the throat and be like, how do I deactivate it now?
Yeah.
Mongol's able to go punch for punch with Superman, so I mean, I know the mech suit's strong.
Yeah, he's no slouch.
Yeah. So we cut back to them traveling back to Earth, and there's this great little gag where they're in a plane that Green Lantern has built, and Batman's pretending to fly it.
Oh yeah.
It's a little silly, but it's kind of fun.
Mm.
And he starts talking to Alfred, and Alfred's like, "So I've been trying to contact you for weeks now. I tried every channel, but something's happened. You have to see this.
You were off butchering alien races in a
You were
gladiatorial arena.
You're off committing genocide on him.
Yeah.
He killed all the Thanagarians." Alright, so we get back to Gotham, and it's just fuck. Like a mountain has appeared in the city.
Yeah, a mountain has just risen out of the ground.
I mean, how many people do you think died there?
So many.
Like they make the line like, "Oh yeah, we got the energy reading, so we started clearing people out," but that's the center of the city.
That is the center of the city, and they're all like full-size skyscrapers that it's just kind of tipped over like there's nothing.
Yeah, they've fallen like dominoes. Nobody's getting out of that.
No.
Like Commissioner Gordon's dead, Harvey Bullock's dead.
Yeah.
Everyone in the Iceberg Lounge just gone.
You gotta be wondering for like the guy in like that building.
Oh yeah.
Who's just there, and the mountain that comes like right up to the base of the building and just stops, and he's like, "Holy shit!"
Oh fuck, that was good.
Yeah.
I like the idea he was about to jump. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna get out of here before Mountain takes me out of here."
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Oh, Sharon, we can stop jumping. Oh, God. Oh boy.
Okay, so we get this. They walk around the ruins of fucked up Gotham.
I mean, is it any worse than normal Gotham?
If anything, that's probably an improvement.
It is, isn't it?
Because I mean, crime rates in that mountain
are
are definitely a lot lower.
So what we're saying is that mountain is a better crime fighter than Batman.
Yes.
It's more in one fell swoop. It has wiped out most of Gotham's.
That's the thing.
crime
If you take out one city block in Gotham, you gotta like 70% of those guys gotta be breaking the law.
Oh yeah, no. If you bless you. What's that one district in Gotham again? The Narrows. I think if we just took out the Narrows.
Yeah, I feel like that was a plan in like Arrow in season 1. That was John Barrowman's plan.
Oh yeah.
He had an earthquake bomb.
An earthquake bomb.
Did you ever watch the season?
I did.
He had an earthquake bomb, and they send in the detective guy, Detective Lance, to disarm it. They send him underground, and then his master plan is there's just another one.
Oh, that's so funny.
He has 2 earthquake bombs, and the first one was a dud. It was great.
No, it's because he does an Ozymandias. He's like, "Oh, I planted a second one 20 minutes ago."
Yeah,
That show got too ridiculous for me. And that's saying something.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Like I watched The Flash, and that show got too ridiculous for me.
Now they've both gone completely off the rails.
Yeah, but at least The Flash has set up the logic in that universe where season 1 they've got a giant psychic gorilla.
Yeah.
So you can keep doing shit like that.
Mm.
But Arrow started off as this gritty realism show that has just slowly devolved into, hey, let's fight a man who can use the Force.
Mm.
Why not?
But Slade is back for season 6. Yes. Yeah.
All right, so we get the Flash, and he runs into the mountain. He's like, "I'll see if I can find us a way in," and he does.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
As he is the Flash.
He is the Flash. So they get inside and they start exploring this place, and they find a chamber. And this is one thing I found really weird. Red Tornado was in this shot, right?
Yeah.
But they don't like linger on him at any stage.
Yeah. So do they not know who Red Tornado is in Rebirth yet?
I don't know if.
I mean, I guess they can't.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like they're just coming across Hawkman now.
Yeah. So like in the New 52, has Red Tornado ever turned up? I don't think he has.
All right. That's weird. Because it ran for a number of years.
No, there's a lot of characters like who haven't turned up in the New 52. Jake Garrick hasn't turned up in the New 52. He's got one appearance, and there's the Earth 2 version of it. It was like young 20 something, but proper Jake Garrick hasn't turned up.
Jeez.
Proper Wally West only came back with Rebirth. Like, there's a load of characters who are just coming back now because of Rebirth. So they go in and they meet the Blackhawks. Blackhawks have just come back because of Rebirth.
Yeah.
They meet the Blackhawks, and one of them's like, "Hey Batman, play it real cool. Don't get these people out of the chamber. Let me show you something first."
Yeah.
And the reveal is that the leader of the Blackhawks is, what's her name?
Kendra Saunders.
Kendra Saunders, the original Hawk Girl. So that was actually pretty cool to us. I like that.
Yeah.
They go to what, some rando island?
Yeah, I have no idea. Well, yeah, I think I missed something here because I was like, wait, dinosaurs? What?
Yeah, they go to the South Pacific and they go to like this ancient island of Thanagarian shit. And there's dinosaurs. And my thing is, did they seriously leave Gotham? Like, did they leave Gotham and that destroys it?
Like Batman didn't hang around and get some first aid for maybe injured people, didn't save people.
The
from
Flash could have
buildings.
gotten everybody out of every hospital
Yeah.
in like an hour.
It could be just like the Mongol thing. Like we assume that they did.
Yeah, but how far away is the South Pacific from Gotham?
I'm gonna say really far.
Real far. I mean, that's 10 minutes for Superman. Not even like a minute for Superman, a minute for the Flash. But for everybody else, that's a few hours of flying.
No, and I was thinking this, like reading this comic, and recently watching last week's episode of Game of Thrones. It's a similar thing. They cut out a lot of traveling.
Yeah, we never. It's not the Lord of the Rings thing where we'll cut back and they're just still walking.
It doesn't
along.
take them 3 movies, but
No.
like in the last episode of Game of Thrones, particularly because you see them, fucking Davos Seaworth.
Yeah, he
goes to King's Landing from Dragonstone, comes back from Dragonstone,
goes to Castle Black.
Goes to Castle Black, tells Jon what's going on, and then Jon goes north to the Wall, and then they travel beyond. There's so much fucking moving around in that one episode, and it feels like a similar thing. They just like they're darting.
Yeah, but in season 1 of Game of Thrones, we're off topic. We'll be back in a second. In season 1 of Game of Thrones, they established that it takes 3 months to get from the north to King's Landing because it takes Robert 3 months to get back.
Yeah.
So I'm certain he did like a year's worth of traveling there in what felt like a week. Alright, so we're back. And they're on this island, Thanagarian shit. We see classic Hawkman in a gold statue, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And they've got all these items that are all old metal and whatnot.
I only like the Thanagarians when they're being pricks.
Oh yeah.
Because I think they're hilariously mean and hilariously cruel.
The reveal in Legends of Tomorrow season 1 actually is that everything they did was to try and stop a war with the Thanagarians that's going to wipe out the multiverse. So at some stage there's going to be a Thanagarian war.
I'm up for that.
I know,
I'll
right?
watch for that.
You'd watch to see Captain Cold fight a big Hawkman.
Yes, I would, and freeze their wings, so he just crashes into the ground and breaks his neck.
Alright, so we get the integration of all these like classic heroes, and apparently Carter Hall has recruited them through the years. And do you recognize who this fucker with the star on his chest is?
Is that Starman? I don't know. I have no idea who that is.
It doesn't look like Starman, but I've never seen him before. Like, I recognize the Blackhawks, I recognize the Metal Men, but no idea who that fucker is.
And I was like, oh, they did like a retro version of the X-Men, and then I realized this isn't Marvel because they all have X's on there. That's their crest, and I was like, what?
Is that just the Blackhawks, or is that the Losers, maybe?
I mean, I guess it's
It
just the team that they sent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so they explain, Kendra talks about the multiverse. And this is my favorite reveal because of just how stupid it is.
It's like they have this big crazy ass map of all the 52
that's actually
universes.
That's an official thing DC released like 3-4 years ago.
Oh really?
And they released that as a poster. That's why you can see it's not drawn in here. It's like poorly photoshopped in.
So Kendra Saunders is like, yeah, so I bought the first volume of Batman by Scott Snyder, and I got this poster with it. And if you look at this poster,
my favorite thing is, and it really is my favorite thing, where she flips it. And she's like, that's the multiverse on one side. What do you see on this side?
And someone just says it's the back of the map, and it's like, that's what I thought it was too. And you're like, is it something new now?
Fucking, I had the same reaction to the Flash. I'm like, yeah, no, it's just the back of a map, right?
Also, what fucking material is this map printed on if the back of the map is black?
Yeah, it would have been weird had she flipped over. It was just like plain white, and she's like, "That's the dark multiverse right there. It's so dark, it's bright."
Yeah. Whoa. But yeah, I feel I got like real kind of Stranger Things vibes because I feel like they do like a similar thing in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's the other side of the table, and I'm like, what?
The thing is, they're like, "Oh yeah, but our multiverse is like a speck of sand compared to this dark multiverse." I'm like, really? How come we've never seen it in 75 years of continuity?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Red Tornado, who they've now just put in a big glass tube instead of trying to wake him up, because why not?
He wouldn't be useful at all.
No, not at all. He's not one of the most powerful DC characters. Whatever. He's a man who can turn into tornadoes. It's amazing. So she's talking, she's like, oh yeah, there's these dark dimensions and rulers who will come from it. And I can't remember the guy's name. Barbatos? Is that how you
Yeah,
pronounce it?
like because it's funny they say it comes from the words barbarous and ace, and I was like, oh, Barbatos, of course, that's what that makes. Yeah. But
Obviously.
anyway, I'm nitpicking here. I'm
Yeah, no,
nitpicking. It's a
good.
decent issue. Like, yeah,
It's entertaining. And she's like, oh yeah, Batman's gonna bring them all through. He's gonna be the reason they come through.
because he's the wagon.
He's the wagon.
He's the wagon.
That was the fucking stupidest term ever for. Why not the vessel? Why the wagon? I hope we get a literal issue where Barbas is like in a wagon and Batman's dragging
He's
him
got the
along.
He's got the bat wagon.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Logo. He said this is what Al Alfred's been doing all this. She's just building the Batwagon.
Building it's like it's like what is it? The time traveling treadmill that Flash
The
has.
cosmic treadmill.
The cosmic treadmill. It's the cosmic bat wagon.
I don't know why I pictured Alfred picking up the cosmic treadmill and just nailing wheels to it. It's like, that's bloody good enough.
Yeah, that'll do.
So she's like, oh yeah, Batman, we brought him here just so we can take him down before he unlocks the dark multiverse.
But then they realize, like, why did they think this was a good idea?
Yeah.
That they said we had to lure Batman here so we could easily trap him, and we just assumed that all his friends would agree and help us. We didn't just lure Batman here. We lured all of his best friends who also have superpowers.
We explained to them for 10 minutes. It's cool.
Yeah, they're totally gonna betray him and help us.
Yeah. You see, the only person who would probably do it is Superman, because he can hear if she's lying or not.
Yeah.
He can listen to your heartbeat and tell if you're lying. So Red Tornado wakes up and he's just like, the door, you've opened the door, you dumb motherfuckers, why you keep opening that door?
I love some of the art here for the Red Tornadoes. They just look insane.
Everybody looks great in this issue. Like, you can see Greg Capullo is really going ham when he gets to draw all these Justice League characters.
And the Green Lantern stuff, I really like that.
Oh, it's sick. So, turns out Batman activated the Red Tornado to escape, somehow.
But it gets better, doesn't it?
It does get better.
His master escape plan gets better.
So Green Lantern's just like, okay, it's Batman. What did you expect? Of course he's going to escape. He probably has some high-tech way out of here right now. And we cut to the next page.
And he's riding on the back of what I can only call a velociraptor.
It's just line is the best part, though. Quiet, boy. Quiet.
It's just Batman holding onto the neck of this velociraptor for dear life while it just screams and pelts away.
I don't know what tone you read it in, but when I read it, I'm like, shh, Velociraptor, cool, be real cool, Velociraptor.
No sleep, just dreams. But I love the way it's one of those things in comics where they have like the run-on line into the next thing. Yeah. So it's like we see the dinosaur's eye, and it just says in the box above it, it's got to be something state of the art, and then it's just Batman in the wide riding a dinosaur.
Oh, Scott Snyder does that so well. It's these little comedy moments in like action. It's great.
And here we get more. We get the start of
Carter Hall's journal.
Yeah.
That's in Dark Days. That's in Dark Days in the prequel comics, but it's weird because when they do it in that, it ends the journal. He's like, and this is my final entry in the journal. I guess not. So we cut to this page and we see all the different dark versions of Batman that are going to be coming through. So we get like Doomsday Batman, Flash Batman, Green Lantern. We see their silhouettes basically.
Yeah. So can we assume that's Joker Batman?
That's probably Joker Batman. There's actual pictures of them out there, but I'm just gonna probably pulling one up.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And we got Aquaman Batman.
Mm-hmm. We got Wonder Woman Batman. Instead of Superman Batman, we get a Doomsday Batman, which seems cooler.
Yeah.
And we get 3 characters that I don't know how they're gonna factor in here.
Okay, so we got I'm only confused by one of these characters. Yeah. So we got Dr. Fate. We could just get a sweet floating head graphic here. Yeah. This would be a nice poster actually. I just love this page. It's really cool.
Yeah, we got Dr. Fate. We have Steel, I want to say, from the Metal Man. Or whatever.
Oh yeah, that does look like Steel, doesn't it?
Yeah, or whichever Metal Man that is. And we got Plastic Man, who in the prequel comic we realize Batman has trapped in an egg in the back. Because he is the most dangerous DC character, and I will fight anybody who says otherwise.
And we just get a comical exclamation point next to him, like he's noticing something.
Mm-hmm. Alright, see, what I don't get about this is these 2 characters, they're metal. That connects to the metal theme. What does Plastic Man have?
Maybe he's flexi metal.
Unless, to be fair, unless the reveal is maybe whatever Plastic Man fell into to turn into Plastic Man was the metal.
It could be he's like literally made of Nth metal now.
That could be it.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have Batman and Alfred. They're having a bit of an exchange back in the back table. What could happen, what happens. He finds Carter Hall's journal. And this is the image I don't get here. Where it's a couple of million years ago, maybe? Or is it the future?
It's impossible. Well, okay, so we got caveman looking people.
Yeah.
And we got a crashed rocket in the background.
You see, at first I thought that was Superman's rocket for a second because it's red and it's a rocket.
Yeah.
Like, obviously not. Then we get this here, which is a clock pointing to. I don't know what time that. What time was that?
That is that's 10 o'clock. It's coming up to 10 o'clock.
Oh wait, no, that's the time Batman's parents was murdered. That's the way he gets into the Batcave.
Oh, okay.
They make a point of that. That's the number he uses on the clock when he opens it up.
I see. It's also kind of Watchmen-y.
Yeah, it is. Actually, who's that figure there? I want to figure out this because it looks like there's like a cloaked figure walking away that isn't Batman.
It could just be like a painting or something on top
Oh wait,
of the
no.
clock.
What if that's the reveal we get at the end?
That's very possible.
That's probably who it is.
In fact, yeah.
Alright, so Batman goes and he finds Carter Hall's journal, and it's been hidden away in Wayne Manor.
Under a glowing bat.
Yeah, you think he would have noticed that?
Okay, yeah.
And finally, we get the reveal. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So Batman opens up Carter Hall's journal, and a wonderful DC character appears behind him. And Dan, you want to explain who this man is?
Okay, so, full disclosure, I haven't read Sandman, but
Neither have I.
the main character in Sandman, his name is Dream.
Or Morpheus.
Or Morpheus.
He goes by either.
And he creates dreams, and he's basically...
He's the ruler of the domain of dreams.
Yeah, he's an immortal, ethereal entity who's the brother of Death, who's a woman.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And he's got a whole family of people who are all kind of ghostly but important kind of figures.
Yeah, you get Dream, Death, Beyond, all that stuff.
And it's if you're probably any other comic reader other than us two, you've probably read Sandman, I want to say. Because everybody's read Sandman.
There's a lot of iconic stuff, and we'll get to Sandman eventually. We'll do an episode on Sandman.
Yeah, we will less. But
there's like there's 10 volumes of Sandman.
I love how fabulous his entrance is, though.
Isn't it?
Like, he's in this kind of weird kind of Prince white roby kind of get up.
I think we see him in that towards the end of Sandman. But I could swear, and I might be wrong here, but I thought Sandman ends with Morpheus dying. So if he's back, maybe it's a different Morpheus, maybe he's just returned for this event.
Possibly.
But this is the DC thing of they're integrating these big characters into their stories, like Dr. Manhattan being part of Rebirth.
I'd say, I have a feeling Greg Capullo probably came in his pants when they told him that he got to draw Sandman.
Definitely.
Because, like, look at the art, that's just such a lovely, detailed character model, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. And I love how undetailed Batman is. Greg Capullo does the thing where he's more minimal with Batman, it works.
Yeah.
Like hiding him in chat. And that is how the story ends, with Dream coming to Batman and telling him how important things are going to be.
Yeah.
Alright, what did we think of this issue?
Okay, so, I mean, I feel like in any Justice League issue, there's a certain amount of nonsense.
Yes, it has to be.
And with the Batman issues, Snyder eventually, well, at least early on anyway, got the opportunity to cut out a lot of the nonsense. But of course, writing Justice League, it's going to slip back in. I liked it. I love the setup. I mean, it's going to be insane.
Definitely. Like, it connects so many things, but you get the feeling Scott Snyder's in control.
Yeah. And that's, like, I mean, I couldn't think of a better person to introduce Sandman into this thing. Because, I mean, Scott Snyder is probably the best writer they have working mainstream for them, like on the Rebirth.
By far.
Yeah.
Scott Snyder is probably the best writer DC have going for them at the moment. Like, his run on Superman is amazing. His run on Batman is amazing.
He's got a decent run on Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know you're not a fan of his Swamp Thing run, which will lead us into our next thing in a moment. But overall, what do we give this issue?
I'm going to give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Because I do like it. It's just, I only like maybe half of it, I want to say. Because, like, the Stone Star I could take or leave.
Yeah, I have to give it an 8 out of 10, but I'm scared I'm looking at it through nostalgia goggles of seeing the first Batman pairing I ever read come back together, and my favorite Batman pairing coming back together. And this Greg Capullo's art is just spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it just nails all the characters, I think.
Oh, so the colors are a little off every now and again, especially in the Mongol scene at the start. I felt like the colors were a little off, like this big splash panel kind of thing. But overall, I really enjoyed this. This is definitely a comic to keep on top of.
Yeah, like even just looking how Green Lantern glows with his aura, like Batman, as you said, the kind of minimalistic kind of coloring on him, the way everything shines off Cyborg, it's all great.
Dark Knight's Metal issue 1 is definitely worth a read. And now, because we've got time left, because this is a one issue, I thought we'd go with your choice next.
Yes.
So you want to set up your choice?
Okay, so it's issue 23 of Batman Rebirth.
Okay.
And it's completely unrelated because it was in the middle of, I think, a kind of a Bane arc or maybe at the start. It wasn't tied into anything anyway. And it's completely separate, but it's just got Rebirth Batman in it. So the story opens with this beardy man. He's relaying a song, and he's talking, and then he's halfway through the song, and then he gets shot in the head twice.
That's the big point of this. He gets shot in the head twice.
Yeah.
So the song is
Irish Rose.
I actually looked up the song and I couldn't find it, but I don't know if it's an actual song.
Yeah.
I typed into YouTube once.
Yeah. But anyway, you'll notice that the guy looks remarkably like Alan Moore.
I thought that as well.
Yeah. And I guess it's kind of poetic given what happens. So we get these kind of weird, kind of old cinematic kind of title cards.
Yeah, it's like chapter 1, The World's Brightest Star.
Yeah. Okay, so open on a rainy night. It's established this is in Gotham. Jim Gordon and Batman are investigating the murder, and then we hold on a little rock.
Yeah. Is it not a taco maybe, or like some decaying food maybe?
Whatever it could be.
Mold.
Yeah,
whatever it is that has mold on it. And Jim Gordon's getting to the fact is like only in Gotham can a man come through the window on the 86th floor and blow a guy's brains out.
Yeah, twice.
So we hold on this as Jim Gordon's running down the guy's.
We hold on this for is it a full? It's a full page.
Full page, a 9-panel page, and it's the same shot, and it's basically the mold starts growing. Then it's a plant. Then it's a hand. Then it's 2 hands, and all of a sudden,
Swamp Thing is here.
Now, Dan, let's stop for a second. Who is Swamp Thing?
Okay, so depending on. Okay, so Len Wiseman, I think he died recently, didn't he?
I think he did.
Or one of them, or I think it was him or the other one. I'm going to stop myself. Okay, anyway, but they created the Swamp Thing character, and for about 20 issues, he was a pretty, I'm not going to say unremarkable, because it was an interesting thing. It's like it was a kind of a horror comic book. He fought a lot of monsters and stuff.
The thing was, he felt very close to Marvel's Man Thing.
Yeah, but when Alan Moore took over in issue 20, because it's a lot of people think that Anatomy Lesson, which is 21, is Alan Moore's first one, but he actually ended. There's issue 20, which is a reasonably good one because it caps off the arc started by the 2 original writers.
Okay.
And he took it in a completely new direction because Alec Holland, who is supposedly Swamp Thing, was the scientist who was working on this kind of this concoction that can speed up the growth rate in plants. So he pisses off some gang members one day, and they plant a bomb in his laboratory, which knocks him into the nearby swamp, along with all the chemicals that he was creating. And then supposedly, his body absorbs these chemicals, and they turn him into the plant-covered Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing is the protector of the green being...
Yeah.
There's several different forces in the DC universe. The red, the green, the grey. Red being man, right?
Red is living things, red is animals and man.
Animals and man.
The grey is the rot, and the green is the plants.
There's other ones as well, isn't there? Am I going to say?
There's probably other ones, but, you know,
they
don't want to show their full hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so Swamp Thing is the protector of the green, and sometimes he's Alec Holland, and sometimes he's not, because in Alan Moore's famous run, there's a twist in Alan Moore's first official issue that basically says Alec Holland is dead, and Swamp Thing is merely a bunch of plants that absorbed like the memories of Alec Holland. So Swamp Thing isn't Alec Holland covered in plants. He's a bunch of plants
who believe they're Alan Holland.
Alec Holland, which I just love. I think it's great.
But in the New 52, there's, and it's in Scott Snyder's run, I think.
They retcon that.
Yeah, they're forced to retcon that. They're like, oh yeah, that was all that happened, but it turns out Alec Holland survived, and now the green has properly turned him into a Swamp Thing.
Well, see, no, that's the thing. Like, because in Black's Night, a black ring corrupts Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, who's just a bunch of plants. So the only guy who can beat Swamp Thing is Swamp Thing.
Oh. Okay.
So bloody Hellblazer, what's the name?
John Constantine.
John Constantine finds Alec Holland. Well, he brings back Alec Holland. He brings back his soul, and then he brings him back to life. And then he becomes a Swamp Thing, and they give him a white ring, and then he beats Alan Moore's Swamp Thing.
That's a pretty awesome concept, not gonna lie.
It's a pretty awesome concept, but it's a kind of a sad farewell to a Swamp Thing that ran for like 50 issues.
In the New 52 run, don't they do a thing where Swamp Thing's just still in space, or is he still out there in space as a consciousness?
Oh, he could be, and I would really like that. I haven't read that far into it, so I don't know. But anyway, so Alec Holland, he is now the Swamp Thing. The Swamp Thing is definitively Alec Holland again.
So Alec Holland, and Batman are just talking about this investigation, and they get to a point where they're talking about what life and death means. And
they're in Wayne Manor, and I love all of this.
Oh, it's so funny because we cut to Alfred. We cut to like footsteps and somebody sweeping, and then it's Alfred just sweeping up the green, and Bruce Wayne is sitting in his khakis and like a jumper with Swamp Thing fully like what?
There's a great white here, and it's just the two of them facing each other, and there's kind of symmetry, but complete non-symmetry, because Swamp Thing is just this big hulking beast with poppies growing out of his back. It's really beautiful.
And Alfred just sweeps everywhere he goes. I love how Ace the Backhand is just freaking out.
Yeah.
He's not comfortable with this thing whatsoever.
And Swamp Thing generates a little cup of tea in his hand.
And once again, we get this kind of 9-panel symmetry where it feels like you're cutting back and forth in a film.
Yeah.
Like if you were doing a dialogue scene, you cut to Bruce Wayne, you cut to Swamp Thing, you cut to Bruce Wayne.
And then you have the close up here, so it's a very kind of cinematic.
That's what it is. It feels very cinematic. Like he grows a plant from his hand, drinks the tea. Basically, he's talking about the fact that this man was his father. The person who died was his father, and how he doesn't believe in the idea of ashes to ashes, because when something dies, it just returns to the green, returns to life. So
and everything is constantly evolving and changing, and
it's from life to death to life again.
Yeah. He talks about how his father began as a proton of light, that his grandmother consumed in a salad, and then he was born, and his consciousness was created.
Yeah.
So it's all very deep and meaningful, and then we get some great shots of Alfred just under the couch, Swamp Thing sitting on, having to clean up after him constantly.
Poor guy. Alfred's put through the ringer just every time.
Yeah.
But Bruce Wayne. He's talking to Bruce Wayne. He's like, "Why are you even here?" He's like, "I don't know, but I know I need to talk to you, and that is why I'm here."
Yeah.
And obviously, Bruce Wayne losing his father at a young age is probably the best person to go to with this.
Yeah, and it's really kind of sweet because it is basically Swamp Thing asking a friend for help.
Yeah. So then we cut to chapter 4.
Just titled it Kite Man.
Now, a little known fact, listeners, me and Dan really love the character of Kite Man.
We have a number of pitches that would make Kite Man work.
One day we will sell that Kite Man pitch.
And we get some great stuff here. And I love the way it just goes, chapter 4, Kite Man. And we cut to Kite Man, who just shouts Kite Man to no one in particular. He's just flying along, and he just shouts, Kite Man!
Yeah!
Like, I'm Kite Man, yeah!
Kite Man!
And then Batman, he swings down, and he says, Batman.
He just grapples onto him.
Yeah, I gotta mention, this book is actually really funny.
It really is.
It's a really funny book, and intentionally funny.
So Swamp Thing's singing a song on top of a building while Batman's just grappling down with Kite Man, and Kite Man's losing his shit.
Like, I love the speech rules. It's all just run-on sentences. There's no spaces or anything. But Swamp Thing is down ground level singing the songs that his father was singing before he got shot, and creating a kind of trampoline of sorts.
That's the reveal that Batman's been just having Swamp Thing build this net, and poor Kite Man's crying.
Oh yeah, and it's really traumatic for Kite Man here.
I like the idea that those tears went right into Batman's mouth, because the way that's drawn, Batman just drank those tears and kept going.
I want to drink your tears.
Batman. Alright, so they land on the fucking trampoline of vines.
They do.
And they find out that, this weapons dealer guy is pawn shop.
And we discover that the weapons dealer guy is Guy Fieri, or he looks exactly like the guy from Epic Meal, or not Epic Mealtime, is
Pawn Stars?
He's the guy who eats all the stuff, but I don't know if it's Epic Mealtime. No, it is Epic Mealtime. Yeah.
It's not Epic Mealtime, that's not. That guy's a full-on beer. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
So we're moving on. And they meet this weapons dealer in a sick Superman shirt.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, Batman notices, oh, you got that tooth. It's real expensive. It's a bloody crocodile tooth. Yeah. Shit like that.
And Batman basically cops in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Who did it?
So they go back to the back end like, okay, it's which one is it? Headhunter. That's it. It's Headhunter. Is he
an established character?
I feel like he's an old character that's just kind of brought back for this, especially the way he looks.
I love how they separate this into 3 panels, but it's not really 3 panels.
No,
but it's Swamp Thing like supportively putting a hand on the back of Batman's chair. It's like those pictures of like the president and the first lady that they have in the White House.
So they're standing there, and this is a great moment, and this might be the moment that made me laugh the most.
Yep.
Where he's like, oh yeah, he's currently in Gotham's art museum, and Batman stops and looks.
He doesn't say anything. He looks up at Swamp Thing. Nothing is said, and then Swamp Thing looks down at him and just says, "The grass told me."
And we get the same panel again of them just looking at each other. And Batman's like, "We'll take my car." He gets off.
The comedic timing in this comic is
funny.
Wonderful. And we get another great bit here.
They're just in the car together, and he's like, "So why do you need a car?"
And then Batman says, "I don't know. Why do you need a body?" And Swamp Thing just goes, "Heh." And they both sit there smiling. It's so adorable.
So fucking cute. Alright, and this brings us to the finale. So Headshot is just sitting in a museum.
Headhunter.
Headhunter.
Headshot.
I don't know. It's a universe with a character called Deadshot. Headshot's not that far off.
Oh, that's next. That's the comic character we create. We got to create Headshot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
His one ability is he can survive being shot in the head a lot.
Headhunter is having these weird, kind of philosophical musings to himself about art.
Yeah, which kind of falls in line with the idea of the song about a dead flower, the dead father, and the idea that life to death or death to life.
And then we have Swamp Thing coming in and Batman, but if you notice, Swamp Thing is still making a mess as he walks. Like some poor museum worker is gonna have to clean this.
I like the idea Alfred has to come and clean this place as well.
Yeah.
But this building is owned by the Wayne Foundation. So they come in and they're talking about art or some shit.
Yeah, they're talking to him about art.
And he's like, it was a really good tune. And he reveals the fact that the only reason he killed this guy is because the guy bragged in a bar that he was Swamp Thing's dad.
And he said that he's been being kicked and punched and beaten to hell by superheroes his entire life, and that if he can hurt someone close to one of these guys, then he'll do it, no problem.
So Swamp Thing just fucking lashes out.
Yeah, they're in the next page we just see Swamp Thing go nuts and begin to strangle this guy with vines, and Batman is helpless to stop it. And we get some really grotesque shit going on here. And this Swamp Thing begins to sing this tune again that his father was singing at the start.
Once again, we get the kind of zoom in thing where it starts on the guy's face as the leaves start to enter him. Then the vines go into him. And then flowers start ripping out of his face.
And there's a rose popping out of his eye socket. There's a tulip growing out of his ear. And there's just a daisy thing just growing out of his cheek. It's grotesque.
It's really graphic.
It's classic Swamp Thing Alan Moore grotesqueness.
Yeah. And then Swamp Thing stands over him with a bit of a frown.
Yeah, a bit of a Swamp Thing frown.
And Batman's just like, what the fuck, man? I helped. I gave him to you.
So Batman is having these weird, kind of, I don't know, aiding and abetting thoughts.
Yeah,
he's like, I helped you kill this guy.
He's like, what the hell? He's not an alien. You can't just murder him.
Yeah.
So Batman's like, you used me. You just killed him.
And then the Swamp Thing reveals that he was completely bullshitting Batman
about
the life becomes death thing, and he just really misses his dad.
Which is kind of sad.
It's really sad.
But Batman's just like, the weed, the bird, the damn change, where did that go? Swamp Thing's just like, nah, I miss my dad.
Yeah.
And this is maybe one of my favorite parts, where Batman's like, no, not now. You're not leaving me, you coward.
Yeah.
Coward. And he just shouts it like a pile of leaves.
There's 3 panels where Batman is shouting the word coward, and initially he's shouting it to Swamp Thing's disappearing. Then it's a close-up on his face, and then it's just a pile of leaves, and Batman shouting coward at it. But we do get a great line here. It's like, why don't you tell that to my dead parents? Like, life into death and all that shit. And then Swamp Thing's like, gotta go.
Into a pile of leaves.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a fucking great crossover.
It was. And it was like, okay, we should probably say at this point that, like, obviously it wasn't Alan Moore who wrote it, because I guess Alan Moore is not doing that anymore.
I think this was Tom King. Like, he's the guy who's doing Batman Rebirth right now. Okay. He's doing a good enough job, but he's coming off the back of Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
So, like, take it easy, buddy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't read any Batman Rebirth other than this issue, but I think this issue was kind of made for me, because it's got all... Like, it is just a massive throwback to Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. It's got the 9 paneling. It's got the...
Oh, it's really good. Like,
it's got the close-ups and the kind of the cinematic. It's got repetition as well. Alan Moore's big on repetition.
See, one of the reasons I really wanted to talk about this week was because the Batman Harley animated film just came out.
Yeah.
And Swamp Thing actually is a big plot point for that.
Yeah, the Floronic Man is the bad guy.
Floronic Man is the bad guy, and they're going after Alan Holland's formula that turned him into Swamp Thing.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. And he gets a cameo in there, and I'm not going to say what it is, but it's okay.
Okay.
It annoyed me, okay? Overall, what did we think of this issue?
I really loved it, but again, it's my bread and butter. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Because it's funny, it's sweet, it's heartfelt.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 and put it on level with Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo here. Because not only is the art amazing, but the fucking comedic writing in this
is it's on point.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
They take Batman and Swamp Thing seriously, but not too serious.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, there is, like, some real parallels between them. I mean, they're both kind of recluses who, like, intentionally stay away from people.
Yeah.
Because they believe they're not fit to associate with those people. They're both orphans.
Yeah.
And they're both kind of loners. So I think there is a lot of parallels there, and they're both kind of serious, but they both just have slightly different moral codes.
While Batman is protecting the world of men, Swamp Thing only cares for the green.
Yeah, except in this issue they flip that, because in here Batman like ends up being a kind of he appears slightly more detached because obviously he's not willing to kill this person out of vengeance.
Yeah.
But Swamp Thing, for the first time, it's kind of a role reversal because Batman is usually the humanitarian, and
Yeah.
Swamp Thing just kind of cares for the green. But this is the first kind of fleck of Swamp Thing actually having this real human reaction,
Yeah.
and Batman having an inhuman reaction to something.
Yeah, because Batman is always a stoic figure who's just like, don't smile, don't talk,
Yeah.
don't do anything like that. But here he's laughing, he's joking around a little bit. He gets real emotional at the end.
Yeah, so it's a breakdown of both of these really stoic characters, and I like it.
There's a lot of characters that I'd love to see Batman cross over, but I never thought Swamp Thing would be one of them.
Yeah,
Swamp Thing. This has actually really got me into Swamp Thing, which
I'm telling you, Jack, you would really love Alan Moore's Swamp Thing if you read it.
Is Swamp Thing your favorite character actually?
Probably.
You really like that character. It's weird.
I love that character.
This shows the difference between you and I. Because my favorite character is Superman. Like bright colors, mainstream. But you go for like the more artistic, the dark, the like weird and creepy Swamp Thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, like the thing about Swamp Thing, and I really think they get it here.
Yeah.
And there's Rebirth Swamp Thing, or they ran the latest run of Swamp Thing. It's even after Scott Snyder's.
Okay.
It's an even newer one. And I really think, I mean, people are like, oh, it's going back to the horror roots of Swamp Thing, but it fucks up the Swamp Thing character.
Oh, really?
Because, like, there's parts where, like, there's a robber in the swamp, and then Swamp Thing's like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy. And he sounds too human, if you know what I mean. He sounds really impulsive. He sounds like a prick. And then he jumps out and scares the guy, and he's like, I'm the Swamp Thing. And you're like, what the fuck is this? But no, Swamp Thing is a character. The way to think of him as he's literally and figuratively a more down-to-earth Dr. Manhattan.
Fair enough.
Because
that's a great way to look at it.
He's just a friendly, slightly more human Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. As this issue shows, he's still in touch with his emotions, while Dr. Manhattan is detached. Which I'd love to see I think it's not Time Runs Out, but there's a big event to do with time coming up where Dr. Manhattan comes back. And I'd love to see how that affects the Green. I'd love to see Swamp Thing interact with Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
Because in theory, on this world, they both have infinite power.
Yeah.
There is no limit to what the Parliament can do or to what Manhattan can do.
Yeah, because I mean, as fast as in a fight between them, Manhattan would eventually win.
Yeah.
But it's like the Parliament of Trees is so powerful they can regrow things in instant, like in a microsecond.
That is a battle that could go on for a very long time.
Yeah.
So we got a few minutes to kill. What are your favorite Swamp Thing moments?
Okay. Basically, my favorite Swamp Thing moments are either when Swamp Thing is really peaceful and he's in the swamp. There's an issue that Alan Moore decided to give Swamp Thing out of kindness because he said that basically we're going to bring Abigail and Swamp Thing through hell in the following issue. So they'll give them one issue where they have a holiday in the swamp. Okay. And there's admittedly a really bizarre sex scene that I won't get into, but the issue itself is really lovely because it's just Swamp Thing kind of relaxing.
Right.
And whenever they show the human side of Swamp Thing, it really gets me. So either when they show his intense anger and holy shit, because in the issue, in Alan Moore's first official issue, Anatomy Lesson, Swamp Thing, he's after being shot and frozen at the end of his last arc, and he's in a lab, and the Floronic Man actually sets Swamp Thing free because he's being forced to work with the guy who wants to capture Swamp Thing. So if the Floronic Man is like, oh, another plant guy, I better set this guy free. So he sets Swamp Thing free, and Swamp Thing goes fucking apeshit. And he just goes on a rampage. And then there's another, much further down the line, there's another moment, and it's a 3-part series, I want to say, where Swamp Man goes to Gotham.
Okay.
Or Swamp Man? Swamp Thing.
Something.
Swamp Thing goes to Gotham, and they have Abigail on trial in Gotham.
Okay.
Because they thought she was a prostitute or something like that, and they put her in
Which,
jail
if you're in Gotham and you're a prostitute, that's like every second person, right?
Yeah. So Swamp Thing goes on a rampage, and there's this great moment where like he realizes that she's in Gotham, and like he's just tearing across the country, and it's a little line of flowers going across the ground, and it's really nice. And then he gets to Gotham, and he basically explodes, and he turns Gotham into an entire jungle.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
And it's incredible, and he just says, okay, well, I won't, like, if you don't relinquish Abigail in like 24 hours, I'm just going to like destroy Gotham and turn it into even more of a jungle.
Is this the issue where Batman uses like? Okay, continue. I'll let you tell it.
As you would say, as you know, Batman's watching in the Batcave. He's like, "Why is there plants everywhere?" So he goes out in the Batplane. He's like, "Okay, I got the solution. I have the clear solution here." And he goes and he confronts Swamp Thing, and he hops out of his Batplane. Swamp Thing's like, "What the fuck do you want?" And Batman's like, I don't know, you better stop this or I'll do something. And something's like, what are you gonna do? And Batman hops out of the Batplane and he just has a napalm fueled flamethrower on his back and he starts burning the plants alive. And then the fight lasts about 2 seconds because Swamp Thing just makes about 100 Swamp Things, and they just beat the crap out of Batman instantly. But the panel itself of just getting out of the plane with a flamethrower is beautiful.
I like the idea of the 75 years we've had Batman. He's had that in the plane, ready to go.
Yeah, but I guess he's fighting Poison Ivy and stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze even.
Yeah, but I still think a flamethrower is a bit extreme to use on Mr. Freeze or Poison Ivy because it is burning them alive. Yeah. They are people.
Actually, that comes up in Batman and Harley. But speaking of Poison Ivy, because that segues right into my favorite Swamp Thing moment.
Okay.
And now, you're a reader of this comic, and I love this comic. The Injustice comic.
Yes.
And Injustice year 3 maybe, the Magic year basically. Okay. You got the first year of the Green Lantern year, the Magic year.
Yeah.
So in the Magic year, Superman's like, under my regime, and you can even test me here, we can stop global warming. We can stop destroying the green.
Ooh.
No more destruction of the rainforest. And Swamp Thing's like, sure, shit, that sounds great. I'm up for that. You don't mess with me and we fix up the green? Fuck yeah. So Swamp Thing joins in. And Batman's like, okay, so they've got every plant on Earth to kill us. And it's a big old fight scene. He's like, don't worry, I've got this. I can call for backup. He's like, really, who on Earth could you get? And the only person Batman could think of getting was Poison Ivy. So this is like this weird fight in the middle of a swamp, I'll have you know. Yeah. Where like all the Spectres taking on Mr. Mxyzptlk, which is amazing.
What does the fight between those two characters look like?
Actually, sorry, it's not. That happens earlier. Mr. Mxyzptlk kills the Spectre and pretends to be the Spectre.
Really?
Mr. Mxyzptlk kills the Spirit of Vengeance and becomes the Spirit of Vengeance.
That's incredible.
And he's fighting Trigon now. That's who it is.
Raven's dead?
Raven's dead. The Lord of Hell is fighting Mr. Mxyzptlk. So they're fighting. Superman's army is fighting Batman's army, and you think they're pinned down because of Swamp Thing. And Poison Ivy gets out of the Batplane, strolls up to him, and he starts going for it with like the plant attacks, and she just starts sending vines to them like it's nothing to her. It's like she's using the Force to wave them away, and it's the two of them just locked in combat. I'm like, I've never known I wanted to see these two fight, but I've always wanted to see these two fight.
Yeah.
And it's a small moment, but it's a fucking great fight.
That's really cool.
Fuck, I love Injustice. Like straight up.
That's like Injustice is just their excuse to do the weirdest shit they can think of.
There's a great moment in Injustice, and it's something they do with this thing in Injustice where it's something that should have happened in the DC universe, but they never were willing to do. Mm-hmm. Where Deadman, the story with Deadman was he was an acrobat who was shot, and he came back to life as a dead man.
That's why he's wearing that ridiculous unitard.
Well, one other acrobat dies in
I know this
Injustice.
Guy, yeah.
Nightwing is murdered by Damian Wayne and comes back as the new Deadman. Isn't it?
Like, if there's one DLC character I want for Injustice 2, it's Deadman Nightwing.
Oh,
that is the coolest concept to me ever.
Okay, I think we should start wrapping this up.
Yeah, let's.
This has been a great talk about Batman and Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Dan, thank you for coming on for another spectacular episode.
Always a pleasure.
Like, this has been two knockout episodes thus far.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to toot our own horn, but we kind of nailed the Planet Hulk one. I think we nailed this one.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Everybody at home, have a good night. Read Dark Knight Metal and Brave and the Mold.
And watch Defenders.
Because that's what we're off to do next. Thanks, and stay classy.